Hey boys and girls, we are on lesson 12-3, convert customary units of weight. You need your workbook, a pencil, make sure you have a multiplication chart out, extra scratch paper just in case, and we'll get started. Here's our learning goal. You can read it with me. I can convert customary units of weight. Alrighty, tilt that a little. We are on page 497, so make sure you open that up. You are going to try the solve and share on your own, and then we go through it together, so make sure you've got a pencil too. Here it is. Maria adopted 4 dogs. Altogether, they eat 1 3/4 pound of food each day. If 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, how many ounces of food will the dogs eat in 5 days? Solve this problem any way you choose. So we've got kind of a two-parter here, but you guys go ahead and give it a try, and then we'll talk through it. Okay, so, and I go back and reread this. Maria has 4 dogs, so there's one number in it. However, that number is not going to be important for us to be able to solve our problem later, because it's just going to tell us that all 4 of them all together eat this 1 3/4 pound of food each day. Then it's saying if 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces, how many ounces of food will the dogs eat in 5 days? So here's our question. How many ounces of food will the dog eat in 5 days? It wants the answer in ounces. Right now, this is in pounds. So I already know my first step is going to be switch pound. I'm just going to abbreviate. LB is pound to OZ is ounces. So we're going to switch our pounds to ounces, and then this is just in 1 day. It wants to know in 5 days. So our second one is going to be multiply by 5. Now, if that is not what you did when you tried to solve and share, that's okay. You might have just done one of these steps, but that means when I am writing this down during the video, I want you to be writing it down on your page following along. So first, let's switch our 1 3/4 to pounds, or ounces, sorry. And if I'm going from a larger unit of measure to a smaller one, I know I'm gonna multiply. So we've talked about ounces, pounds so far. And when we go from a smaller one to a larger one, we divide. When we go from a larger one to a smaller one, we multiply. And so we're going from pounds to ounces, so we're gonna multiply. So I have to do 1 3/4 times 16 here. Now, we have 2 different ways that we can tackle this. We can make this an improper fraction, multiply across, and then solve at the end. Or we can break it up, and I can do my 1 times 16, and then my 3/4 times 16, and then add them together. So I could do 1 times 16 plus 3/4 times 16, and then we end up adding them at the end. Now, sometimes I just do the improper fraction, divide through, make it work, but if I'm multiplying by 1, I know that's a really easy thing for me to be able to do. So I can do that pretty easily, quickly in my head, and that's why I picked this method this time. So I'm gonna do 16 plus, and remember when we multiply, our 16's over 1 here. So we have 3 times 16. Now, if I don't know that, I can just come off to the side and do it. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4, and we get 48 over 4. Now, this symbol right here is a division symbol. So I have to do 48 divided by 4, or figure out how many times 4 will go into 48 to get my whole number answer here, because it does go in evenly. And I can think, okay, 4 times the biggest number that I know off the top of my head. 4 times 11 would be 44. 4 times 12 would be 48. So you can think about, find that closest one that you have to that. And so I know if I do 48 divided by 4, it's gonna go in 12 times. But you can use different methods to get there if you've got some like fast facts that help you make sense of it. So we need to do 16 plus 12. So 6 and 2 make 8, 1 and 1 makes 2. So we get 28 ounces there. Now that is just for 1 day. The problem wants it for 5 days. So now I've got to take my 28 and multiply it by 5. You could use box method too. So you can break it down into 20 and 8. So here I would do 20 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Add that 0 to it. 8 times 5 would be here, which is 40. When I add all that together, we have 140 ounces for the whole what is it? 5 days. I was going to say a week, not quite a week. So 140 ounces is our final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our next page. Here is our essential question. How can we convert units of weight? And we're going to be introducing our third unit of weight that we use in the customary system here in this problem. So we've got an adult African elephant, sorry, I flip-flopped him, weighs about 5 tons. A baby African elephant weighs about 250 pounds. How many pounds does the adult elephant weigh? How can you convert 250 pounds to tons? Wow, so we've got a lot going on with this problem. They've got kind of some pictures for us. Here's our African elephant, about 5 tons, and then here is our African baby elephant, which is about 250 pounds. And our little friend here is telling us to convert from one unit of weight to another. You can use multiplication or division. So what I'm going to add to this is our T for tons. So when I go from tons to pounds, tons to ounces, I would have to multiply. When I go from ounces to pounds, ounces to tons, I'd have to divide. Pounds to tons, same thing. How many pounds is it? And so let's go back to our question. It only wants the adult elephant. How many pounds does the adult elephant weigh? It doesn't want us to switch over the baby one, and the baby one's already in pounds. So I don't really have to worry about that. And then we've also got this little key here, and I do want you to jot this down on some scratch paper so you make sure you have it. 1 ton is equal to 2,000 lb, and then 1 lb or pound is equal to 16 ounces. And that's what we have today. I know with our gallons and our units of length, there's more to it, right? But thankfully with this one, I think it's always kind of a nice little breather. So we need to take a look at what they did on the next slide. They've got to convert from larger units to smaller units, they need to multiply. So when we go from larger to smaller, we multiply. And we know that because I'm going to have more of something that's measuring in a smaller amount. So we've got our 5 tons, and I have to take that 5 tons by how many pounds are in a ton. Well, I know this chart up here is telling me I have 2,000 pounds in a ton. So I'm going to take 5 times 2,000, and really you can do your 5 times 2, which gives you 10, and then you've got your 3 zeros to tack onto it, and you get 10,000 pounds. So 5 tons, 1 African elephant is worth 10,000 pounds. So if we are converting from smaller units to larger units, we need to divide. So here, if we're taking our baby elephant, 250 pounds, and trying to split it into tons, so if I go pounds to tons, I went down, I need to divide. I have to divide 250 by how many pounds are in a ton. So they have 250 over 2,000, or 250, remember this is a division symbol here, boop, boop. 250 divided by 2,000. And so then you can see here that they're going to simplify it down. So both of them are even, both obviously 10 will go into, 50 will go into, and I guess 250 goes into both of them as well. And so they're simplifying by the largest number that they can. And when they do 250 divided by 250, they get 1. 2,000 divided by 250, they get 8. So 1/8 of a ton is how much the little baby elephant weighs. Okay. Let's take a peek, see at some of our guided practice problems. I'm going to leave my little keys up here because it's just helpful for me to be able to see if I'm going to multiply or divide, and then if I'm going how many ounces are in a pound and pounds in a ton. Okay, so would it be best to measure the weight of an egg in tons, pounds, or ounces? So think of a small egg. Do you think we would measure it in tons, like an elephant, in pounds, I don't know, like a baby? I guess we measure babies in pounds, right? I'm a new aunt, that's all I'm thinking about. And, or ounces, something that would be relatively light. Okay, if you said ounces, you are correct. The other two units are too large. Right? It would be ridiculous to say how much of a ton an egg weighed. We should look that up because that would probably be weird, but it'd be ridiculous to do. Okay, what types of tools do people select to measure weight? So I want you to think on your own, what have you seen maybe around your house, in your kitchen, maybe in your bathroom, that people use to measure weight? All right, you might have said, just like a scale that you have like in the bathroom scale there, I have a digital food scale as well at home that I actually don't really use all that often. Sometimes when I'm baking, I'll weigh instead of measure. You might, here at school, if you think back to summer school, if you're in my summer school or in science last year, we use those triple beam balances. To measure, really that goes along with the mass, but it's a way to measure it. Mass and weight are different, but okay, let's go ahead and go over some of these. And 3 through 6, we're going to convert each unit of weight. So 2,000 pounds equals blank tons. I want you to try this one right now. Use this little hint up here and see how you do. Okay, well, it tells us 2,000 pounds is equal to 1 ton. So bada bing, bada boom, it's 1. Now, 48 ounces, 2 pounds. So we're going from ounces to pounds. Ounces to pounds. I went down, so I have to divide. I'm going from a smaller unit to a larger. I'm not going to have as many pounds for the same amount of ounces because it's a bigger, you can fit more into it. So I need to do 48 divided by, write this down, divided by 16. And so you might know your 16s. You can always actually do 48 divided by 16. Remember we used that cover-up method? Well, 1 would go into 4 times. So 16 could go into 48. We could try 4 times. And it might be too many. Get 64, so that's too many. So maybe I'll take out one of my 16 to go down to 3. And there we get our 48. So it goes in 3 times. And we get an answer of 48. Okay, let's go ahead and try number 5. 6,000 pounds to tons. So pounds to tons, we gotta divide. Okay, so what you should have tried is 6,500 divided by 2,000. So 2,000 would go into 6,500. I have 2,000, 4,000, 6,000. I know it's gonna be 3 times. And then what we have left over is 500 out of 2,000. However, if we have 500 out of 2,000 left over, then I'm going to have to simplify that down. And because I've got 2 zeros here, I can cross out 2 zeros here. And now we've got 5 out of 20, which is a lot more manageable in simplifying. So we can divide our top by 5, bottom by 5, and we get 1/4. So for this one, you have 3 and 1/4. And I just did the division in my head a little bit, but you could always do your, 6,500 and your 2,000. Maybe you're not a fan of the standard method and you want to do parts, do the partial product. So 2,000 times, I know 3 is going to give me 6,000. Okay, then I'm going to subtract. And I get 500 left over. Well, 2,000 is not going to go into 500, and that's where I got this guy. I just did part of that in my head because we had so many zeros. Alrighty, let's go ahead and try number 6. Might be able to just reason through this one too. Okay, so for this one, we're going from pounds to ounces. And so if I'm looking here, pounds to ounces, I need to multiply, right? Yes. Multiply 1/2 by how many ounces are in a pound. So I'm going to have to take 1/2 times 16. So we know here I'm finding half of 16. When we multiply by a fraction less than 1, our actual answer gets smaller than that number we multiply it by. So if I find half of 16, what am I going to have? Well, 16, if I split it in half, I've got 8. Here we go. Okay, down here, I'm going to show you one and then have you try one on your own, and we'll talk about it in group. So we are going to write our greater than symbol, less than symbol, or equal to symbol. Now, remember with my less than, I always think of it like an L, so I can remember which one is which. I know that's the less, and then I like just opposite. Okay, well, I know obviously that's spelling less, then the other's greater. So I have 2 tons and 45,000 pounds. So what I have to do is I have to switch one to the other. I think it's easier to multiply. So I'm going to go from tons to pounds, and I'm going to multiply 2 by how many pounds are in a ton. Well, there's 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So this would be 4,000 pounds in 2 tons. So I obviously know 45,000 pounds is going to be bigger, we're going to have a less than symbol in there. Okay, you guys go ahead and try number 8. Remember, you have to either convert your pounds to ounces or your ounces to pounds in order to compare them, and then put your symbol in. All right, great job, 5th graders.